Hello, everyone. Welcome to the show. There's big news breaking and happening as we are recording the beginning of the show. We'll be getting into all that and much, much more on today's episode of Geekonomics. That's the name of the show. That's why we're here. Hope everyone's had a good week as Bryon is now trying to make the catchphrase for the show. We hope to talk nerdy to you. How you doing, Bryon?
I don't want that to be our catchphrase. I put that as our chat because I was sick of the old name. I think that's actually a name of a podcast already.
Oh, well, whatever.
I don't want it to be our catchphrase.
Yeah.
Anyway, it's nice. I like it though. It's catchy.
Yeah.
So Mark, it's been a week. Big news did explode the internet this morning, which is great because we're usually a day behind. Or it happens after we've already recorded. Yeah. So we're always like kind of
behind. As you're recording, something will happen. And then when you're done and we're like, oh, well, now we got to wait a week to respond to that.
Right. So it's kind of cool.
Then it's already gone. So
this happened and now we can talk about it.
Yeah.
But before we get into all that, real quickly, I know I talked about like this holiday, I have 2 weeks off. I'm definitely going to watch Cowboy Bebop. I'm excited for The Matrix. There's a lot of shows I want to catch up
Masters
on.
Of the Universe.
Yeah, I gotta watch. That's next on my list. The one show I started watching and I freaking loved it is Hit Monkey.
Told you.
I am 2 episodes to finishing it.
Yes.
I watched three Saturday morning, 3 Sunday morning. Then I watched another 2 Sunday nights. And I have the finale is a 2-parter. I'm going to watch that tonight.
Yeah.
I will go on record to say I like this more than What If. Yeah. I think this is probably my favorite animated show of the year.
I mean, you can't really you can compare them in the fact that they're both animated, but you can't compare them in the fact that one's on Disney Plus and one's on Hulu.
How that doesn't for me,
because What If can't do the stuff that Hitmonkey can.
I understand, but for me, Hitmonkey hits all the check marks.
Yes.
What if each episode was so different that I didn't? Some episodes I like more than others. Where Hitmonkey, it's a constant. Oh my god, I got to keep watching.
Yes. This also hits in your wheelhouse too. That, like I said when we first talked about it, it's got that Archer.
It's anime. Vibe. It looks like anime.
No, but I know, but the acting and all that, the Jason Sudeikis' character is very.
It's not Archer-esque at all. It's Americanized anime. I mean, because it takes place in Tokyo.
Yes.
It's very anime-esque. I don't even like the animation sometimes, to be honest with you. I think sometimes the animation sucks.
Yeah.
I think the animation really shines when it's violent and there's a lot of action. I think it looks really cool. Sometimes I just think so. I don't know what it is. Sometimes
it's more story driven than
I'm
anything.
Picky with animation.
I'm finding this out. Yes.
Like Invincible, I thought the animation wasn't that great, but I really liked the story, and I forgot about the animation. I just got sucked into the story.
Yeah. Well, that one stayed close to the comic book art. That's why.
Sort of, because sometimes the animation of the art of that changed depending on who was drawing it.
Yeah.
But anyway, needless to say,
yes,
that's my opinion. I know I'm in the minority here. It doesn't
very
matter.
Much the common thread with a lot of things.
Hitmonkey is a freaking win for me. I absolutely love it. It's like I only compare it because it's a Marvel property. I compare Hitmonkey. I like it more than What If. What If I still enjoy, still great, but Hitmonkey, man, it's so awesome.
Yeah, it's better than MODOK, that's for sure.
Yes, 100%.
That's the better comparison to the Hulu shows. There's the Marvel Hulu shows. That's the better comparison.
MODOK is a loser.
Or MODOK.
MODOK, whatever. It was
Not
a
MODOK,
loser.
That's a 18.
I couldn't get through it. It just became depressing.
I got one episode in and I was like, yeah, I'm out.
But it makes me want to read the graphic novel, so I might try to get my hands on that. I'm almost done. I got one more novel left of Y, The Last Man, which I love. But but I've been working on a project, so I kind of put a pin on anything reading wise because I was trying to get this project done. So I got the project done this weekend, and now I can move on. Now, on the other hand, the reason why I couldn't watch anything more, Friday at 2:00, I got my booster, Moderna booster, and my flu shot. Now, Friday, I went home. I was feeling all right. Arm was sore. I'm like, okay, not bad. Saturday morning, I felt like a train ran over me. I had fever. I had the chills. I had the hot. I was so cold. I could not get warm, but I was sweating. I was so tired. So I ended up watching Hit Monkey first thing in the. I woke up. I was so out of it. I just watched 3 episodes and then I kind of like drifted off. Me and Allison did a few holiday things that were only happening that day. But then when I got home, I was in bed. I couldn't keep my eyes open or be comfortable to enjoy anything. I felt like crap. Sunday felt so much better. Much better. Sunday, I had plans with my family to go to Yankee Candle. So yet again, I had a busy weekend. It's the holidays. It's hard to kind of have like a big like a day to do nothing, which I'm hoping I can do once I am on vacation. So that's why I got to watch Hit Monkey only in the mornings. And then when I got home, I'm like, I gotta watch 2. And then I'm like, oh, I got 2 more. I'm gonna save it for Monday night because that's gonna be awesome. So that is why after Hit Monkey, I'm gonna jump into Masters of the Universe because they're half hour. I can fly through it quickly.
Quick bites.
Cowboy Bebop is going to be my winter show. That's going to be my holiday show because those are an hour long.
Yeah.
And
they still fly by, even though you're only an hour long.
I love that first episode, and I'll probably just rewatch it again, just a refresher.
Yeah.
Anyway, so my weekend was kind of like between obligations and being sick. That's what it was. I have no control over that. If I could have just watched TV in bed all Saturday, I would have. I just mentally, I was out of it. I would not have remembered anything I watched anymore. I would have just been out of it.
Yeah.
I did try the Halo multiplayer, which is in the beta is currently, you can download Infinite right now. You can play the multiplayer. It's in beta, which is basically, it's going to be what it is when it comes out on the 8th. Fun. It's a lot different. Your upgrading is very different. You don't upgrade by matches anymore. You have to do objectives, which I kind of don't like. But I'm not a person.
That's the beta, so it's not like it's totally.
Well, no, it's how it's gonna be. It's how.
Well, I mean, they're gonna there's things gonna be added to it and changed and stuff. So
they don't have Forge. They don't have playlists. They don't. These are all things coming way later, which is kind of sad.
It seems weird. Like, why would you release a game that's not finished?
And they've had a very long.
Especially been working on it for so long.
Yeah. I know. And what I'm excited for the campaign. The reviews are out today. The campaign's getting 9s. Awesome. I'm super stoked. It's coming out Wednesday. When I get out of work, I'm definitely going to be playing it. I'm very excited for the campaign. It sucks that the campaign co-op that we're so used to won't be out until May. By May, will anybody care? No. I mean, no. But
it seems like no one. That seems like the from the little bits I've been paying attention to it, because I'm not really into the video games as much as I used to be, that they definitely don't care about this game.
I think it feels kind of rushed. I
yeah,
feel like
they care about the game to the point of it's a way to promote Xbox because it's Master Chief.
Yeah.
Like they had like a whole thing on Sunday Night Football last night with the Master Chief and become Master Chief, and there's like a whole campaign, but the actual game itself seems like it's just like let's just get it out. Let's get it, like, we need to complete this so we can move on to something else kind of thing.
They could have waited. I mean, it was supposed to come out last year.
Yeah.
I kind of feel like campaign co-op is something I would look forward to playing with you and Hutzel and John. Like playing the campaign with all of us is a lot of fun.
Yeah.
So whatever, I'm gonna play the campaign.
It's also that's not a thing that people play anymore.
Well, Halo hasn't been in the zeitgeist for years.
But it seems like it's like even just like the regular games that are coming out, like and Call of Duty and all those.
Yeah.
They're no. That's the only thing that they're for is to play multiplayer.
Yeah. Pretty much.
There's not have to be a story. It doesn't have to be anything. Just put a bunch of shit stuff into a box and let people play with it.
Right. So the multiplayer is free to play.
Yeah.
Which is great, but like now you have to pay for really crappy cosmetics.
Yeah.
Like there's a lot of you have
It'll
to
just be like regular Halo. John will be at level 97 within like 2 weeks, and we'll all just not be able to catch up to him.
See, here's the thing, because it's a battle. It's all this bullshit I don't understand. There's season 1. It's a battle pass. So the battle pass gives you objectives until May.
Yeah.
You have to complete to actually upgrade. If you complete all of them, then you don't
max out.
You max out until the next battle pass comes out.
Yeah.
So
it's like Fortnite.
I mean,
it's all about seasons now. It's not about actual. Right. That's all they are. Just basically making a Halo version of every other multiplayer. That's all it is. Yeah.
It's all about this for microtransactions. Is what it is.
That's all it is. That's all video games are now.
Not all of them.
These kind of games like Call of Duty and that stuff, it's all just now. It's not about the actual games themselves. It's about what multiplayer maps you can put out and different things you can put together. And
listen, I'm not going to drop a cent into multiplayer. I want to play I want to play a few rounds with the guys, and I'll be happy. But I'm more excited for the campaign. I'm glad it's going to be in Game Pass because I'm glad I'm not going to drop $60 for a half game a game for a campaign that might be only 10 hours.
Yeah. Well, what it is now is it's to make like it's basically like so they can now start doing like Halo tournaments.
Yeah.
They'll have like
the multiplayer is where they're Halo, bread and butter
as opposed to Call of Duty. It's to join that genre of games.
Yeah.
Because Halo was like the beginning of all that, and then everything else
kept
going, and Halo just stopped when the whole Bungie Microsoft thing happened, and they've never really been able to cash in on the esports side of Halo.
And now they're going to cash in.
Now that's what they want to do.
Yeah,
that's all it is.
Good for them.
Yeah,
but I'm excited for the campaign.
Yeah.
Now, if I can tell you to play one game this year, play Guardians of the Galaxy.
I keep seeing the thing for it.
Play Mark.
It's on like super sale and everything.
Play Guardians of the Galaxy.
I know.
One of my, it's like
as you are to TV and movies, I am to video games. I will get to it when it's free, and I don't really like. No one else cares about it anymore. That's when I'll play it.
Hands down, one of my favorite games of the year. The soundtrack's amazing. The acting is amazing. The choices you make are amazing. The characters are so much fun. It is on par or even better than the movies.
Wow.
Play it.
Okay.
It is awesome.
Maybe I'll do that during the Christmas vacation.
Get it on sale. And it's like 15 hours. If you really take your time, maybe 20.
Yeah.
I'm taking my time with it, and I'm trying to do everything, but it's a linear game. Yes. You can venture off the path, but like it's aces. Get it. I recommend it to everybody. Right. Then on top of that, the VGAs happen on the 9th, Video Game Awards, which I love. That's happening 8:00 Eastern time on every streaming service known to mankind. It will be broadcasting it. Big announcements always happen. Big awards, but the announcements are always my favorite part of that show. So that's happening this Thursday at 8:00. And then we are 10 days away from Spider-Man No Way Home.
I know, it's crazy.
I haven't been this excited since The Force Awakens, Mark. That's how excited I am.
I think it's about that level.
It's about that level.
And the fact that they threw out just as by the way, now that you've gotten your Spider-Man excitement up and running, hey, next October, we're doing another Spider-Verse movie. And it's only part 1.
Yeah. I love that movie.
Oh my God.
I really am disappointed we all didn't go to see that together.
Well, I mean, when the promotional for it was not in a way that you would think it was promoted as a kids movie. It wasn't promoted as
I mean, it is it's a family movie.
I know, but it wasn't like
awesome.
a movie that would have fallen into our frame of reference.
I saw it by myself.
I saw it with my niece, and she like loved it.
Dude, I walked out of there going, that was the best movie I've seen all year. Yeah. It was amazing.
I would put it as the second best Spider-Man movie.
It's top tier for me. Top tier.
Spider-Man 2, of course, and then this one.
But we should definitely, I'm hoping everybody be interested in seeing the second part. I'll go with you. We're definitely
I'm into it. Yeah, I'm into it. All right. Yeah.
Because just the animation, the character, I want to kind of rewatch it before No Way Home.
No, I love the fact that this little first look basically is just like, here's the 2 things we mentioned in the after credits and nothing else.
And if you haven't seen the after credits, then I don't want to spoil it because
it's all in the first look. Is basically what you saw in the after credits.
All right. Yeah. I mean, I haven't looked at it because I didn't want to spoil anything for myself.
It doesn't spoil anything.
Okay, cool.
The only spoiler of the whole thing is that it says part 1 at the very end.
Yeah, I saw that in the title.
More than that. And it's like, whoa, okay, we're doing that.
Why not?
Yeah.
Why not? In the official runtime for Spider-Man has been announced to 2 hours 30 minutes.
Yes.
I'm fine with that because if this is the last of the trilogy of this arc, they've already announced that Tom Holland will be doing another Spider-Man trilogy. He will continue on as Spider-Man. Tom Holland was doing an interview with someone and they said, what do you think after this? And he goes, we treated this like this is our last one. Yeah. He said, if I'm 30 and I'm still playing Spider-Man, I've done something wrong. He's like, I think it's time to let someone else pick it up. He's like, Miles Morales would be fantastic to come into the but he's not going to be, if they do another 3 and they pump these out very quickly compared to the other MCU.
It doesn't mean it has to be 3 Sony versions of Spider-Man. It's just 3 movies.
No, they said another trilogy.
Oh.
So there'll be another.
This doesn't mean he can't pop up in Marvel.
Oh, yeah. He will probably be in the MCU, but he will be in 3 more
Sony movies.
Yeah. But I mean, he's now in his mid-20s.
Over the weekend hear an idea after watching somebody talk about the Spider-Verse movie that kind of piqued my interest, but I was like, this is gonna be, how would they pull it up? What if they use, because it's Miles Morales now going into the Spider-Verse, which is basically kind of Sony's version of the multiverse.
Yeah.
What if they did a way or some way they could pull Miles Morales from the Spider-Verse movies and then introduce the live action actor into the Marvel universe? I mean, through the Spider-Verse movie.
They could do anything. So
they could pull, like, my thing was, because the guy brought it up in the thing. It's if you want to watch it, it's one of the guys I watched previewed. It's 2 guys, Adam and Jay, and they talk about different trailers and things. But Adam brought up or Jay actually brought it up, the crazy idea of what if they had Tom Holland live action in Spider-Verse as a post-credits thing or something, and somehow Miles Morales drops into a live action scene of Tom Holland, and you introduce the new actor that's going to play Miles Morales, and that's how you do it.
Well, after today's news, anything is possible, Mark.
Yeah.
All bets are off the table.
Yeah. I mean, we kind of had, like, if you don't know what the big news is, we've kind of had a hints at it if you've seen episode 3 of Hawkeye, which we'll talk about as well.
Yeah, I guess.
But that was like the connection there. But anyways, yeah. So all bets are off. Anything can happen.
Yeah. Mark, how was your week before we get into the big news?
It was good. It was good. Nothing crazy. It was a very light week. Didn't really have much going on. Uh, been reading through the Empire Strikes Back uh, Sinus story, as I found out what they're called. So that's been pretty cool. I haven't really watched anything new. Just kind of watching the same things, finishing up things. Like you still have to finish the Hit Monkey.
Oh,
Saving the
wait,
finale.
you didn't finish it, Monkey? I
I
thought you
didn't finish
watched the
the
whole thing.
finale yet. I didn't do the finale yet either. I've been waiting.
Oh man.
I wanted to get you into it and then see
So
what your
next,
reactions were.
okay, so next Monday,
Yeah.
we will be recording. We'll talk about Hit Monkey and Hawkeye.
Yes. Yeah.
And we got Spider-Man, which
We'll preview Spider-Man next week.
yeah, we'll talk about it. I mean, we've
Give our
talked
predictions.
about it.
Give our predictions on what we think might happen.
Actually, next week we should do Hit Monkey, Hawkeye, and then Spider-Man predictions.
Yeah.
We should do like our top. You should do 5 predictions. I do 5 predictions, and they could be fucking wacky as shit.
Yeah.
We can see what we could. I'll write them down.
Yeah.
And then when we come back after vacation, we could see if we got anything.
See how crazy they were, if they were right or not.
Yeah. That'd be a lot of fun.
We wouldn't be on vacation yet, though. The 20th, we'd still be doing a show, so we could do it on the 20th, the recap.
Oh yeah, that's true.
Because the week after that's vacation.
Yeah, let's take the week of the 27th off.
Yeah.
But 20th, we'll do our Spider-Man review.
Yeah.
And predictions.
Yeah.
And then we'll take a week off.
Yeah.
We deserve a week off.
We do.
I'm not going to even sit here and be like, no, we must record the week of vacation. I want the week off.
I have nothing to discuss. We're too busy watching Cowboy Bebop and whatever else.
We got to catch up on things.
Yeah.
That sounds like a game plan. All right, Mark.
But yeah, so nothing really crazy. No, I haven't watched anything. I've been toying with, I think my holiday thing for me is going to be watching the Beatles documentary on Disney Plus.
Everybody's saying good things.
Because they're saying, because I looked into it and they're 2.5 hour, each one is 2.5 hours long, and there's 3 of them.
Oh my God.
Yeah. So like, well, this isn't going to be a quick watch through. I'm going to need time for this.
Well, I watched the George Harrison documentary on HBO years ago, and that was like a 2 or 3 parter, and they were like it was like 2.5 hours. Like it was long.
Yeah.
I loved it. And I watched all 3 parts. So
yeah, this is supposed to be like extraordinary. So I'm in for it.
You're in for the long haul.
Yeah. And I keep meaning to watch the Alanis Morissette Jagged and the HBO Music Box documentaries. Like they're the same group that did the Woodstock 99 documentary.
Oh, I didn't know that came out.
It's a series. Yeah, they're doing a bunch of different like music documentaries.
Oh.
And the next one after the Woodstock one was Jagged. It's Alanis Morissette. Like
Jagged Little Pill.
Yeah. Like the story of that, like her come to fame and everything and all that, and like Taylor Hawkins is in it and everything. So
he was a drummer.
Yeah.
Cool. I'll have to check that out.
Yeah.
Me and Alice have been waiting for Succession to come to an end so we can watch that, and I think we're gonna start that probably this week. I think the season finale was yesterday.
Yeah. The other thing I did watch is on Netflix. They do the Untold documentaries, sports documentaries.
Yeah.
I did watch the one for Malice in the Palace months ago. And then just recently they put out one, the story of the Danbury Trashers, which I talked about before.
Danbury, Connecticut?
Yeah, Danbury, Connecticut. Yeah.
Okay.
It's all the story of Jimmy Galante and his son. Jimmy Galante owned a trash company down the southern part of the state. And he actually sponsored Ted Christopher's car back in the day at Stafford. And they talk about that briefly at the beginning of the documentary, which is kind of strange to see. But no, so Jimmy Galante owns a trash company and gives his son, who's 17 years old at the time, because he had broke his leg playing hockey and couldn't play anymore. So since he couldn't play hockey anymore, he decided to just buy him a hockey team. So he just bought him a hockey team in Danbury, Connecticut. And
oh wow,
it's all that story of like how the Jimmy Galante was connected to the mob and how the FBI was investigating them and how the whole like thing happened.
You told me this last year.
Yeah.
I remember this. Yeah.
So it was very, I don't know, it was cringeworthy because it's like, oh God, this happened in my state. And I like
a lot of bad things have happened in Connecticut.
And it's just very weird.
Bad things happen everywhere, Mark.
I know, but it's just like such a bad, I don't know, just a bad look. And then like the sad part that they like promoted it at the WWE, like the kid was there and everything. Like the family was definitely connected to. Right. Yeah, it was just
Well, Mark,
Bryan,
shall we get into the big news? I gotta share my screen though.
Get your lap dances ready.
That's not that you're obsessed, which we'll talk about in a minute. Hold on. I gotta do. How do I do?
You share
screen.
I love how you still don't have no idea how to share your screen. We've been zooming
sound. Okay, here we go.
Doing the show on Zoom for over a year now, and you still can't figure it out.
Here is the clip that has broken the internet this morning.
Yes.
Ready? Here we go. Now this is Kevin Feige, producer, and this is the producer on Spider-Man from Sony's side, Amy Pascal, I believe.
Sure.
Now watch when you. I'm gonna play.
I know if you're gonna like play this video that's 17 seconds long, and then right underneath it is a thing that says what the news is.
I know, but okay, we know what the news is. But when you watch this clip, the face that she makes like me
you're doing this right now.
Makes me believe
he's in Spider-Man.
That maybe, but I don't know. All right, here we go.
That picture that you said was doctored months ago is not doctored.
It looked like garbage, but here we go.
If you were to see Daredevil in upcoming things, Charlie Cox, yes, would be the actor playing Daredevil. Where we see that, how we see that, when we see that, remains to be seen.
That's
her laugh.
Basically, her like, oh crap. She's like,
her laugh makes me feel like like it's almost like this, like the leaks have happened, so now
it's just like the cat's out of the bag, so to speak. So it's like we're not gonna
like just her mannerisms makes me feel like it's like this, like laughing, like it's gonna happen. Like,
get your dance moves ready, Bryan.
So for people who don't know, jokingly, I have said there's no way in hell.
Not just said. Here, let me preface this. I'll say this because you're gonna.
Oh, this is my story to tell.
You're gonna CNN it and make it like good in your way that you.
No, I have. I have said, and I still believe, and I'm really not in favor of. I will go on record. I honestly don't. I'm not that excited by this news, but I'm happy everybody like you. I'm happy people are excited. I personally find it to be a cheap win for Marvel. Personally, I don't find it to be that exciting. I have no problem saying this. I have said the Marvel characters from Netflix will never be in the MCU. Put it to bed. Give us new actors to take on those characters, because to me it makes no sense. They're older now. Get young, fresh, new talent. Give us new, fresh, new stories. Don't glom on to this old crap. Let's give us something new. I listen. I still stand by that.
So now, I will say on what Bryan's saying. Not only has he said like that, he's been like, I am putting everything in my being into this, that they will never ever show up in anything ever again.
Yep.
I don't like this. Is Bryan saying this in our chats every week, basically, for the past year.
Yeah.
I have no idea why anyone would ever want to see Charlie Cox in the Daredevil costume ever again. Why do they keep talking about these people from Netflix? The shows got canceled. Move on. Start from scratch.
Yeah.
Play this all over again.
That's what I said. Yeah.
To the point where at randomly I can't remember where it happened, when it happened. I think we were waiting to go into a movie at Agawam, maybe Black Widow or something, and it was brought up randomly in discussion about Charlie Cox coming back for Spider-Man.
And I said,
Brian said,
I'll give you a lap dance.
And this is John Francia saying this. Turns to Francia and says, if Charlie Cox shows up in Spider-Man, I, sir, will give you a lap dance in the movie theater at the end of the film.
Yeah.
To which John Francia was like, okay, don't know why he don't want that.
I don't remember that's how it went down. I don't think it happened.
Well,
I think
something's about to go down because Brian's about to lap dance after No Way Home, because the thought process is now that Charlie Cox is pretty much guaranteed to be in No Way Home.
I still believe he will not be in No Way Home, but Amy Pascal gives me kind of a pause.
She did not look.
Dude, she was like a crazy woman.
She was like, oh God.
She looks like someone who's been holding on to secrets for way too long and that she's going to explode.
Yes.
Like,
it's like, that's the thing with these Marvel things now. It's like anytime any little tidbit by Feige, Daddy Feige gets dropped, anyone who's near him is like, oh my God, did that just happen? I was told I couldn't say anything. And this guy just walked in and just like, oh yeah, we're going to have a Green Goblin and Doc Ock and all. It's going to be in this Spider-Man movie. Oh, okay. Yeah.
Here's my feeling. Okay, I feel like we're gonna do a predictions next Monday. Yes. So I'm gonna save that for next Monday. I'm not gonna go down that road. As of right now, I have to think about it because seeing that clip, it makes me a little nervous that this could happen.
So besides the fact that this clip has appeared, there was a story that happened last night where they started to filter out that this video was coming. Cineblend is the website that they did this interview for, where this question was asked. And it came out.
And I'm not I don't put my faith behind them.
I don't either. Just randomly last night, I got up, go to the bathroom, took my phone with me.
You taking a dump?
Yeah. I took my phone with me.
You taking a midnight dump?
Yeah, it happens. Everybody poops, Brian. There's a book about it. You should check it out. It's at Barnes & Noble. Anyways,
a great song about midnight dumps.
Okay, I
think it's by Bob Seger.
You just got Brian. It was only released on one album that was only available in Tulsa.
As you talk, I'm gonna
on the week of.
October. It's Night Moves.
Night Moves. That's not about poops, but anyways.
But it could be. I got the night moves.
Yes, that's only if you have a certain vegetable or something.
Who sings Night Moves? I don't think it's
Bob Seger. Yes.
Is it?
Yes, it's Bob Seger. Anyway.
Oh, yes, yeah. But Night Moves. Well, hold on. Night Moves.
Don't care. Scrolling through the interwebs.
You were working on your night moves.
As I was having a night move.
Night moves, yeah. Okay.
I was reading through different things, and I came across this news popped up in my Google news things.
Yeah.
Literally, I just said out loud, oh crap, Brian's in trouble.
I could be.
So I posted it to the chat, waiting for somebody to first see this, and then the
saw it this morning when I woke
craziness
up.
Occurred.
6 a.m, I see that. And I just like, no. And Rocky's just like, you're cranky in the morning. I'm like,
yeah. It's always a good thing to wake up and find out that something you thought wasn't never going to happen is going to happen, even though you don't want it to happen.
I'll say this: as much as I don't agree with this choice, Charlie Cox is a great actor. If this has been announced, I'm sure he'll be great.
I mean, I think the thing
I honestly don't want anybody coming over. I don't want Jessica Jones coming over. I don't want Iron Fist coming over. I don't want Punisher coming over. I don't want any of them coming over.
The thing is from the whole Netflix saga, like that whole thing happening, I'm pretty sure at the time when they cast all these Netflix shows, the plan was these people were gradually going to work their way into the MCU somehow. There's no way Marvel just threw shows out without having a plan for them, i.e. the Disney Plus shows. they have that going, and they're all kind of connected to the bigger storyline.
I get that.
I figure that there was something going on. They just never were able to do it because Disney Plus happened. Netflix shows all got canceled.
Yeah.
It was kind of left in the wayside, off into the desert.
A part of me feels like I thought they worked well with between phases 1 through 4.
Yeah.
But now that we're moving on to younger characters and a different kind of feel and look to the MCU,
yeah,
I just don't visually see them in that world anymore.
I think it would. I think you're right, but I think like the only two characters I think, to me, that would make sense to come over are Charlie Cox, and which the other one we'll talk about from episode 3.
Well, we're gonna.
They're all connected, and that's interconnecting those stories. It all happens in that same area.
Listen, I agree with you, Mark.
And the way that they told the story of Far From Home and the ending of it, if they're going into the trial of Spider-Man, basically, kind of thing,
more or less, we don't
kind of like that kind of thing. But he kind of, if you're going to bring a lawyer into the story, you already have a lawyer already built into your canon.
Here we go.
Here's your way to bring those characters back in. Charlie Cox
can be brought in with She-Hulk because she's a lawyer. That makes way more sense to me.
But he can come back in that as well. Then you got to do 2 lamp dances because he shows up twice.
The whole bet was on Spider-Man. It had nothing to do with anything else. That was the whole bet.
It's just fun to watch you get aggravated.
Here's my thought. Okay, I agree with you. If we were to bring in anybody, it would be Kingpin and Daredevil. I don't give a 2 shits about anybody else coming over. I don't think they need to. I agree with you there, and I agree with the masses on this one. If Charlie Cox comes over, my prediction would be She-Hulk. I'll leave my predictions till next Monday. I don't think he's going to be Nowhere From Home, but a part of me feels like he could be. Now, we're going to talk about Hawkeye in the midst of all this big news because episode 3 talked about Echo. We get introduced to Echo. We introduced to the fact that now, is it her father?
Yes. No.
Now,
it's not her father.
I'm confused because the guy
that dies in the episode is her father.
I thought that was like a mentor or something.
No, that's her father.
Okay, so
that's why the dad calls him Uncle.
So it's Uncle King. It's her uncle.
Uncle Kingpin, yeah.
Now, okay, this would be kind of crazy, and this wouldn't be unlike Disney to do this. That on Wednesday's episode, Kingpin is introduced, and it's
D'Onofrio. Vincent D'Onofrio.
And
right before Spider-Man comes out.
Then the following Wednesday, like if he shows up at the very end of the episode, like they've been doing this thing where every episode ends with like.
Well, the thing is with this
Echo just walks out.
The trailer for next episode, I believe, I didn't want to watch it, but I've seen things on the webs and stuff.
I didn't watch. I'm not.
I believe it's Yelena shows up, Black Widow's sister.
I saw an article about how they were asking for her to be in this.
Yeah.
Okay, that's cool. I like her a lot. So
yeah.
I think she was my favorite part of Black Widow.
Yeah.
Now
I think the Kingpin reveal would be at the end of the series.
Well, this is episode 4. We only have 2 episodes left.
Yeah, but if you do next episode, if episode 4 is the Black Widow story, and then 5 is Echo coming back.
You know what, Mark?
6 is
if they gave us Kingpin next Wednesday, and then Thursday is Spider-Man.
Well, yeah, but I mean, you got to remember too that these are all kind of somewhat out of order, and
Mark,
the movies are out of order.
But they know what they're doing.
I know.
They know what they're doing.
I don't think it's. I think that's.
I hate to break it to you. We can shake the shit out of that, but they know exactly what they're doing.
Yeah.
COVID did not
think
change anything.
it would make more sense if you're going to drop the Kevin Feige video now and you're talking Charlie Cox. I think the first thing to do would bring him back and then have your D'Onofrio reveal after that.
So you think Kingpin will show up the last episode of Hawkeye?
Yeah.
I don't know. It seems too late in the game.
Because that way you can do, because they're going to do an Echo show. And yes, it's already been announced. That was one of the things we talked about from D23 this year, that they talked about Echo coming next year. So if you're doing that in her story, she's a good guy because she finds out the reasoning why her dad was killed was because of Kingpin, not like Ronin just killing people to kill people.
Yes.
So I think that would be the last thing of her finding out the whole reasoning behind what happened to her father. And then I'm assuming her cousin gets whacked.
My prediction is that we will see Kingpin at the very end of this episode, because I feel like he's got to have a bigger presence to just being in one episode.
Well, I know, but I'm just saying you might not see him completely. There might be a reference to him in this episode, but I don't think you'll get like the big reveal of him as.
I don't know. I feel like
we'll find out though.
Yeah, my prediction is Wednesday in 2 days. I think we'll see Kingpin. Now, okay, I've accepted the fact that if Charlie Cox comes back as Daredevil, there's a good possibility that what's his face will be back as Kingpin. But like I said, I'm in the minority here. To me, I have to see it. I got to see it, and it's got to be good for me to be like, okay, that was awesome. Because right now, I'm just kind of like, all right, that's great, but I guess I got to see it. But I really don't want Iron Fist coming. I could give two shits about that.
God,
he's a bad actor, bad show. I could give two shits. Jessica Jones is great, but I don't think she works. Punisher, I think the Punisher's got to be redone because it does not work in the MCU. And see, this opens the floodgate to all these characters coming in, and I don't believe the Punisher. That
Punisher was really good though.
Yeah, but so what? Like, I think I don't even know if he belongs in the MCU right now.
Not right now. I mean, I don't think you need to bring him in right this minute. But I mean, you can wait a couple.
He will be neutered. I hate to say it.
I don't think so. You could do like the Hulu thing.
I don't know.
If they could do Hit Monkey, they could easily do Punisher.
Yeah, but will he be part of the MCU? That's the question.
Why wouldn't he be? Why can't he be? If you use Hulu to be like your Marvel Knights kind of network, like the stuff that's too intense for Disney Plus.
Yeah.
I mean, who knows? After Moon Knight, we might not have to worry about it anymore because Moon Knight looks pretty gritty and rough. It doesn't look like it's very family friendly.
What I'm trying to get at is Punisher is gun heavy.
Yes.
That's what Moon Knight is not gun heavy.
No.
That's what I'm getting.
Yeah. But Hit Monkey is gun heavy, and that's on Hulu. So you can put Punisher on Hulu.
I guess. I want a new Punisher though. I don't want that guy.
You also want a new Daredevil. Look how well that turned out for you.
I do. I want all new cast members. I don't want any of these people. I don't know. I don't know what your
issue is with this. I don't know why you're so against having these people play these characters.
It's just, hey, it gives us an interesting back and forth. I don't know.
I guess.
I don't know. I just want something fresh and new. And I want I get the whole Charlie Cox thing. Everybody's like, they love him and he's great. And I just think the thing with him
is that I don't think he got
3 seasons.
He got the chance to connect with the MCU that he should have gotten.
I agree.
Because they had set up, like during the shows of Daredevil on Netflix, they had so many hints of him heading in that direction to being in the MCU. and it just never materialized. It just never happened because there never was a good connection point to get him over to it.
Right. I don't know. We'll see. I mean, I don't know. I
mean, without those original shows, you wouldn't have the Disney Plus shows. So
maybe I think we would still have MCU shows.
I know, but I mean, that helped to have those other shows to get the ball rolling. So
right, I get it. I'm accepting.
But I will tell you, there is other news, Brian. We heard before we get into Hawkeye. I don't know if you heard this news.
Oh boy.
In that same vein of the Charlie Cox news,
Howard the Duck's coming back.
Well, that's in What If. But anyways, there has been tidbits of information dropped from Doctor Strange into the whatever multiverse of madness that with the whole thing of the Darkhold opening up portals into different worlds and releasing different things, that one of the things that might be released is Ghost Rider.
That'd be cool.
Yeah.
Bring back Nick Cage as Ghost Rider. That's what I want.
As long as it's not the guy from Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D., I'm fine.
I never watched that. I don't know who that is.
God, it was so bad.
Such
a bad Ghost Rider. It wasn't even his fault. It was just he was just written poorly.
I want a new Ghost Rider. I'm just kidding. I don't want Nicolas Cage coming back as Ghost Rider. I want a new, fresh face as Ghost Rider.
Yeah.
I don't know. I guess this is where I come from. And, you know, I get why people are excited. But where I'm coming from is I want, like, a new actor to come in that we don't know, take on these roles, and make it their own, and give a younger audience who didn't watch the Netflix shows to say that's my Daredevil.
Well, just that thing of, I think it's just the thing of, I look at it. It's like when you get characters that aren't connected in this world of the live action shows and movies that are connected in the comic books, and people are like, oh my gosh, Charlie Cox was so good as Daredevil in his shows that having him appear with Tom Holland as Spider-Man and do the madcap adventures that Spider-Man and Daredevil have when they team up, it would be awesome to see together. And I think that's where that kind of stems from. It's just, people just love Charlie Cox for some reason. I don't know.
Also,
I only ever knew him from Daredevil.
But also,
I've never seen him in anything else, so I don't know.
We only know that Daredevil in live action.
Yeah.
So of course we are attached to. Yeah.
Yeah.
So we are attached to Charlie Cox as Daredevil. I was only kidding when I said that in the chat. I don't want that Netflix coming back. It's funny.
Coming back.
I still haven't watched season 3 of Daredevil, and I haven't
watched. I don't think I watched any of the end seasons of anything.
Me neither. I just didn't care.
Well, because I knew they were ending and there wasn't going to be any like connection to anything, so I stopped being interested.
I watched the first 2 seasons of Daredevil, which were fantastic. First season Jessica Jones was fantastic.
Well, that was because David Tennant was in it.
Season 2 just fucking dragged on forever. It didn't get good until
stupid story with her sister or whatever it was just terrible.
It was lame. It was not good. We ended up watching the whole thing. It got good in the last 3 episodes, but that middle, it was just like I felt like I was walking in quicksand. It was just like get to the point.
After the first season, it was so disappointing because you had like a perfect villain.
Yeah.
And you just like
that was
castrated him, just killed him in the first season.
Yeah.
It's like this could have been the whole thing to drag you through as many seasons as you wanted.
Yeah.
It's like who's she gonna fight now?
I know. Then I gave 2 shits about Iron Fist. I didn't watch it. Punisher, you guys said it's good, but I still have no interest.
Punisher was good. It was
and
good.
Then what was the team up thing?
Well, then Luke Cage had his own show.
We did.
He had a season of his own show.
Oh,
then
we didn't watch Luke Cage at all.
Then they had the Defenders, which was
which I will never watch.
Series.
That was the team.
Which wasn't terrible. It was just a little out there. That's all. The story wise, it was a little because it focused very much on Iron Fist, like mystical stuff and all that. And it got kind of.
I'm definitely going to watch season 3 of Daredevil. I told Allison, I said, well, I guess he's joining the MCU. I guess we should watch season 3 now.
And I mean,
beyond that,
like,
I have
like
no
we said,
interest
Vincent
in it.
D'Onofrio was fantastic as Kingpin. He was a great Kingpin.
Yeah. But there's a lot of guys they could pull off the Kingpin too. It's not a hard character to do.
Yeah, but I mean, it's just kind of, we've already established that they're in the world, kind of. So you don't have to do any work. It's like, we really need another origin story for Daredevil. Do we really need another origin story for Punisher?
I don't think
we've had Thomas Jane's. We've had the guy that did that Warzone movie that no one watched.
Listen,
we had John Bernthal's
You
Punisher.
can have these characters enter and you don't have to give us a back. I mean, we Spider-Man entered and we didn't have to see Uncle Ben die. I mean,
that's what I'm saying. So you don't have to do that anymore.
I'm
so
saying,
bring the
even
characters
if they gave us a new actor, you really didn't have to get into it that much. Like Black Panther, he joined the cast, and then we got a half origin story, half like new.
I think with this one, it's kind of like the path of least resistance for this one. It's kind of like
I said, it's a cheap.
Why recast a character that's already beloved and easy?
I know.
And we have him in the. He's just sitting there waiting to do something.
It's an easy win.
Let's just throw him out there, make people happy.
It's an easy win.
He's not going to have his own movie. He's just going to be a side character in a
for now, and yeah.
And if it works out down the road, we'll give him his own thing again. But if not, whatever.
Yeah. So Hawkeye episode 3.
Yes.
I mean, I don't know how much I really like. I thought the action sequence was really good.
They had the coolest scene of any Marvel show ever.
When they're on, they were on.
They're on the bridge, and he shoots the Pym arrow, and it enlarges the regular arrow, and it just drops on the bridge. First thought: did you have this first thought afterwards? Who's gonna get rid of that arrow now? Just a gigantic arrow stuck in the middle of the bridge in New York City.
Yeah, I know, right? Well,
there's a show I would watch on Disney Plus. If they did a comedy, I know, but they never did it. Like, it never took off. If they did a comedy about like the cleanup crews that went behind these heroes and cleaned up all their messes.
It's the Vulture, remember? It's the Vulture. Those guys are the cleanup crew.
Yeah.
That was his whole thing.
Well, he was stealing the tech from the aliens.
Well, but they were still working for the government to clean up, for S.H.I.E.L.D. or whatever, to clean up after the stuff. And he was secretly stealing the tech. But there was a crappy comedy on ABC.
It was a DC thing, though. It wasn't a Marvel
it was a DC thing.
I want to say it wasn't ABC. It was like TBS, I think, or something like that.
Oh, okay.
It wasn't like Marvel villains. It wasn't even Marvel heroes. I think it was just generic superheroes.
Yeah, I would blame.
But if they connect it to like the Marvel universe, and you see like the clips from the Marvel movies, and they use that as like their, like, even like Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. was kind of like that. At the beginning, it was like the cleanup crew.
Right.
Like, they would go behind the heroes and clean up their things, and you'd get like ancillary, like Lady Sif was in an episode, and like they did that kind of thing. And that's when the show was good, in my opinion. That's like when I liked it. It was like, oh, it's connected to the universe, but it's kind of like, then it kind of went off on its own weirdness.
Yeah. I love the arrows. I love that he's driving backwards and she's just going to town with different kind of arrows. I like the personal getting to really know Burton there, trying to like, he loses his
she breaks the hearing aid, so the hearing aid kid calls. Ugh.
It was so heartbreaking.
It's like you just want to just like pull your heart out and just put it on the table and just stab.
I'm telling you, for me personally, this show is making. I mean, I like Hawkeye as a character, and I like him because he's an average guy. He doesn't have anything.
He doesn't have. He's just a regular Joe that just got pulled.
But he's really good at archery, and like, I don't know, I like a more grounded story once in a while, and I think this is hitting all of my boxes, and I like the whole fact that he can't talk to his kid, and she's helping him, and they're helping each other. Yeah,
and they're bonding over that. Like, right. Like, she becomes like his sidekick basically in that scene.
Yeah. and it's very heartwarming. I think it's a great show so far. And I mean, if it doesn't like warm your heart, win you over.
I mean, the other thing we're going to get to in this episode is you're going to finally find out if the stepdad is just really a fake douche, or if he's like been playing this character and he's got some other motive going on. At the very end of the episode, he like pops out with the Ronin sword.
There's something up with him.
Yeah. So we get to find out what that's all about.
Also, we introduced to Echo. We learn more about her.
They dropped an D'Onofrio hint.
Well, they dropped a kingpin hint.
Yes. It wasn't even a hint. It was basically like, that's his kingpin.
Yeah, but we hear him laugh.
Yes.
To that.
He says something to her. The dad says something to her, and she looks up, and he like the dad asks her like, "Oh, you're gonna be tough in this and whatever." She's at the karate class, or whatever. He says, "Make sure you're good for your uncle now," and he like just her like a very D'Onofrio sounding laugh.
Oh, I didn't connect that. This is why I think we're going to see Kingpin next episode, because the way this show has been working is they hint, they reveal, they hint, they reveal. So I kind of feel like if they hinted, we're gonna get the reveal on Wednesday. Yeah. My prediction, maybe I'm wrong, maybe you're right, I don't know, but it just seems to be the pattern. And I mean, we're already like what? We're halfway through
it already.
Yeah, I mean,
6th episode. Oh, we also found out, speaking of episodes, that the Book of Boba Fett is only going to have 7 chapters, 7 episodes.
Yeah, and they run the gambit.
I totally missed out on an opportunity with the marketing on that. Like, I was so like, it bothered my marketing brain. They're like, "Oh, here's the number of episodes that Book of Boba Fett's going to be." It's like, just call them chapters. If you're calling this the Book of Boba Fett, just call each episode a chapter.
Mark,
that's just...
I hate to break it to you, that wasn't an official, like, that's just someone reposting information. What's going to happen is it's probably going to say chapter 1 in the beginning. They're going to do that. That was just some jabroni in his basement put that together and put it online.
True.
So I bet you anything, it's going to say chapter 1, chapter 2. I also believe the episodes are going to be 45 minutes to an hour long. I mean,
I would say probably like Mandalorian, 35, 45 minutes.
I mean, even look at
Hawkeye's around 40, 45 minutes.
Right. The time length does not mean anything anymore when streaming. No. It could be as short or as long as they need to be.
Yeah, because the first 3 episodes of Hawkeye, I think it's like been 43, 48, like in between there. Each one's been like a different, and they've gradually gotten shorter. Like the first one was the longest one, it was almost an hour.
Yeah. Because usually you got a lot of setup in the first episode. Anyway, so great episode. I think it's my favorite by far.
It was the most action. That's for sure.
I give it a 9 in my my numberology of Geekonomics. I give.
Now is this all right? Now let me go with this. Is your rating
just on the
9 episode because of the show and the story of the show, or is it a 9 because the first half of the show is shot in a former KB's store and you geeked out because it was a KB store for the whole time?
Good eye. I noticed that too. I was like,
because the first thing I saw that, I'm like, oh, Brian's gonna be geeking out about this stupid thing now because they're in a KB store.
Yeah, I saw that too. Well, it definitely got a half a point because of that, Mark. I'm not gonna lie. That was cool. They were in a KB toy.
I was like, I can see Brian photoshopping those K and B's around and using it as promos for the next show he does.
BK Toys is in Hawkeye. No, I give it a 9 because it was a great episode. I thought the action was well done, and I like where the story's going. So I like all of it, and I really like Hawkeye. I like his character. Why do I want to say? I know his name, but like I want to say it's Cliff.
Clint Burton.
It's Clint, but I always want to say Cliff. I don't know why.
Cliff Clavin.
Yes,
he's a mailman.
Yeah,
mailman by day.
Yeah, Clint Burton. I always want to call him Cliff Burton. I don't know why. It's one of those weird things. I'll tell you a funny story. When I first got my job at LCTV, we had these interns.
Mhm.
We had an intern named Peter. We had an intern called Mary, and we had an intern called Paul. Peter, Paul, and Mary. Now, the funny part is the two guys.
Peter and Paul.
I constantly flipped their name, so I would call Paul Peter and Peter Paul, and I could
That's
not
hilarious.
get out of it. And I would be like this. I'd be like, "Wait, Peter?" And he'd be like, "No, Paul." I'm like, "God damn it! I cannot."
You should just gonna have name tags.
Yeah, once my brain was set on that was the name, I could not escape it. Yeah, it's horrible. I don't know why. So. First of all, we had a Peter, Paul, and Mary, which is hilarious. And then I would constantly flip Peter and Paul all the time.
Did you ever play Puff the Magic Dragon for them when they came in?
No. Anyway. But yeah, I mean, I'm loving the show a lot. It's definitely what I say this every show, but it is definitely one of my favorites.
You say what every show that we talk about.
Well, I was thinking
one day you're going to find something that's really your favorite, and it's going to be interesting to see, because you're going to be like, you know what, all this time I've been saying these are all my favorites, but this one is really my favorite.
My favorite. I think when we come back with the new year, I think we should do
Wait till Book of Boba Fett, folks. That's going to be Brian's favorite.
We should do our favorite things of 2021.
I don't think we have enough time in an hour to get through all of your favorite things.
No. We'll do 10 each, or we'll do 10 each. Like maybe our first show back in January, our favorite things. And it could be anything. That's why it's things. I think that'd be cool. It'd be a fun show.
Okay.
A year in review. We have to do a year in review. Come on.
I'm not arguing with you. I don't know why you're acting like I am.
Okay, I'm planning out our shows already.
Yeah. On the air instead of waiting till afterwards, like most people do.
Well, we already went through our schedule at the beginning of the show.
So. Well, that was just
I don't know.
What
about you, Mark?
How many weeks are in a month? That's why.
I don't know what's going on.
I'm gonna give it an 8, and not because I didn't like it, because there's 3 episodes left, and I'm gonna save the higher ratings for if big reveals happen.
Gotcha. Makes sense. Well, Mark, your prediction is no Kingpin next episode. You're saying last episode.
I'm not saying, I won't say last episode. I'll say either 5 or 6.
Okay. I'm saying next.
I'm saying that this, because I've seen rumblings on the interwebs of the trailer for next episode, and Yelena is rumored to be in it. That I think that's going to be the. Well, I even watched the trailer. I don't like watching the trailers. I want to be surprised.
Was she in the trailer?
That's what I've seen. There's a picture, like the screen grab from the trailer is supposedly her. So
supposedly.
Yeah.
See, they didn't tease her, so it makes no sense that she would be in it. But hey, it could be a one-off, and then she's in it, and then we get Kingpin episode 5.
Yeah.
And then Charlie Cox shows up on Spider-Man on Thursday, and then everybody.
Then you're dancing La Vida Loca in the middle of the movie theater. It's gonna be a good time.
You know what though? John never paid up on his bet, so I ain't paying up on mine. We'll be even. John never gave me a steak dinner.
He never did.
No.
You're right. Maybe after the lap dance, I'll take you for a steak dinner, because he might want to take you out to dinner afterwards.
I'm just gonna be like, we're even now, because you never gave me that steak dinner.
See, I think the thing is, when with his, he wasn't as adamant about it, so he didn't involve everybody else. Didn't get dragged into it.
Mark, dude? That when we recorded before The Force Awakens opened, we did our first video. Like, remember you hosted a panel and I hosted a panel?
Yeah.
John was adamant that Star Wars would not make them much money. That Star Wars, according to Kristen, nobody cared about. Remember? He was just like, Star Wars, and we were like, dude, it is going to be the biggest movie. And he's like, there's no way. Remember?
Well, I think
that was huge.
I think you've but I think with this one, You've really dug your feet in on this one. You've really painted yourself into a corner, so to speak.
I am the John when it comes to The Force Awakens.
Yes.
He was adamant that it was Star Wars was there was nobody cared and was not going to be that big.
Yeah.
Remember?
I don't think it matters at all anymore because this movie is going to blow them all out of the water. So
it will be interesting. I think Spider-Man No Way Home will be the biggest movie of the year. I also believe it's going to be the #1 movie through the holidays.
I think this might be the first one back to challenge for top 3 ever.
Yeah. I think for domestically, yes. I think it's going to come very close to beating
the hype
whatever
train is
real
flying down the tracks and there's no brakes.
And I think people are going to see this multiple times. I think this is going to be big.
Yeah, because there are going to be things that you miss that you're going to want to see.
I will probably see it multiple times.
I'm already booked to see it twice. So like I've already got tickets for when we go.
Yeah.
And I've already got tickets to take Claire that weekend. So
yeah.
I think we're going to IMAX it for the
nice. Yeah. I think if I see it, I mean, I know Mike will be away, and if he wants to see it, I might go with him.
Yeah.
If Alice wants to go, I mean, I will definitely see it again on my vacation.
Yeah.
So
yeah,
I think this movie is going to be the biggest movie of the year, hands down. It's going to beat all the movies that came out this year.
Yeah.
No doubt. Yeah. And if a lot of these predictions are true, it's just gonna make.
I mean, the amount of stuff that's already come out about it is mind-blowing enough that if you add any more to it, it's just gravy at this point. It's just like you're like, I'm already nerdgasming as it is. You don't need to add any more to my nerdgasm.
Here's the big thing: Monday, the embargo for reviews will be lifted. I don't know why they're waiting until they're allowing that on Monday and not like the day before. I am going to stay off the internet.
It's going into media lockdown.
Yeah, okay. I'm going to stay away from our group chat because I don't want someone posting anything.
Yeah,
I'm
muting it. Going into full mute. I'm going into full cone of silence.
Dude, I am not responding to anything.
Which isn't something that we should like. It's not something I think that shouldn't have to be said already. But just don't say anything.
Yeah.
Don't be that guy.
But
come that weekend, all bets are off.
Yes. But the week
before, until Thursday,
shut up.
Just say the movie was good. You don't need to talk about the story. You don't need to talk about anything. Keep it very general.
I think the reviews will.
Yeah.
But something will slip and then someone will go crazy with it. And then, you know how the internet works.
Yeah.
Like, okay, Force Awakens happened. I went in cold. Nothing was ruined for me. Now, that weekend on Twitter, I remember it was trending, obviously. Yeah. And I remember, like, some asshole took a shot of Han Solo being killed with their phone. And they literally, like, there was a conversation thread going.
Yeah.
And he was just dropping the photo and repeat. And people like, you ass, like, people were pissed because it was in the middle of a conversation. Yeah. So you have jerks that are going to be like, I got something. Oh, you don't want to be spoiled? Well, here it, like, I don't want to deal with that.
Here's Charlie Cox walking out of a building.
Here's Charlie Cox sucking Spider-Man's dick. Wow. Like,
wow.
I know.
That's a whole different movie.
That's the porn parody movie.
Yeah, that's a whole different.
I know. I was a little blue there. Sorry.
Yes.
Anyway, here's Kevin Feige with Charlie Cox.
Yeah, Charlie Cox news.
Actually, it'd be really funny if the after credit scene is just that clip I showed you. Kevin Feige.
He's gonna show up. Don't know where it went. And just that lady just being like,
and people just like losing their shit.
Or what if that credit scene is just like Charlie Cox just shows up? Like they do a whole thing and they find out like the end of the movie is Spider-Man's like in jail because of
no.
Like,
Period.
he had to murder all these people. Because that's what the whole trailer talks about, is all these people die fighting you in all their own universes. So now we have to kill them all again.
Sandman never died.
Whatever.
Technically.
He blew away.
No, he didn't. He didn't blow away.
They put him in an hourglass and you just tip him upside down.
He did not be put in an hourglass. That would have been funny though.
That'd been a good way to capture him. You just keep turning him over. He's just like, stop doing this. Why would you torture me so? But if that was like a thing where like at the end of the movie is like Spider-Man's arrested for his crimes, and Charlie Cox comes in as his lawyer into the Aunt May is like, oh, I got you a lawyer.
Yeah.
Or Happy shows up and he's like, hey, Stark paid for your lawyer, Stark Industries, or whatever it is now.
Right.
Paid for your lawyer, and he's like the Stark Industries lawyer that comes in.
Yeah. Well, here, let's put a pin in this. Let's save it for next week because we have to do predictions. Because I got something. I'm going to save it for next week. Hopefully, I'll remember it.
All right.
We should wrap the show up.
Write it down now so that way you remember it for next week.
I will. We should wrap it
up.
In
your hand, not the one that you use during the week, but for washing your dishes.
Okay. So let's wrap the show up. Let's wrap the show up, and we will be back next Monday.
Get off your Charlie Cox. God.
Get off. Put your Charlie Cox down.
Put your Charlie Cox away.
And get to work.
Get to work.
We will wrap it up. We'll be back next Monday with Hawkeye.
Always throw up your Charlie Cox.
We're going to talk about Hit Monkey.
Yes.
And we're going to have our Spider-Man predictions.
Yes.
You'll have 5 predictions, wacky as you want them to be. I'll have my 5 predictions, wacky as I want them to be, and we'll see what will happen.
Yes. And then stay tuned for the first show of next year. It's going to be a very busy show. We're going to have our first episode of Book of Boba Fett reviews. We're also going to have our Matrix Resurrections reviews. And we'll talk about our top 10 things that we liked for 2021.
Maybe. We'll figure. I'm going to talk to you about after.
Okay.
Well, okay. Right. Let's get out of here.
All right.
We'll see everybody next week.
See everybody next week. Be safe. Stay off the interwebs.